How to translate text contained in videos? I have a video containing text. Is it possible to have a translated version? How can I translate text contained in videos? These are the questions we're going to address in today's video. Hello and welcome to this video. I'm Antonino, I'm an Italian video translator and I help companies reach their Italian-speaking customers by translating English videos. So some of my clients reach me out and tell me they have some videos containing text and that they need a complete translation of both audio and text content. Most of the time it concerns corporate and marketing videos, but also documentaries and movies. But literally any video can contain text and virtually be fully translated into another language. So let's start with looking at what this type of translation is, and then we will address its features and take a look at how to translate on-screen text. Now, in order to define what on-screen text translation is, also known as OST, I need to first specify which type of text is meant. So it's a range of texts that are embedded in a video, excluding subtitles. But how can you tell the difference between this text and subtitles? Subtitles concerns the audio content of the video, whereas on-screen text adds information that complements the audio. It usually includes details like the speaker's name and occupation, location names, summaries, product features, or key selling points. Again, the list can be very long and it can virtually include any text other than subtitles or captions. But the translation of this kind of text is known as on-screen text translation. Now, there are 4 ways to translate it depending on the type of files you have and on the access you have to them. So the first is easy, the second is a bit tricky, the third is rather problematic, and the fourth is even more complex. If either you or your client can get in touch with the video editor, the task is quite straightforward. All it takes is transcribing the text that appears on the screen and writing the translation on a text file. A Word file is okay, or on a CSV file, and the video editor will get the hands back on the video and do the rest. If you can't get in touch with the video editor, but have access to the files created by the video editing program, and you own the same software, then you can translate directly on the source files and replace the source text with the target language text. Although it may require some visual adjustments of the video elements and some basic video editing skills. I really never got that lucky because every time I own a different video editing program than the one used by the editor in my case. But this way is still much easier than the next two. So the third way is if you can get in touch with the video editor but you have access to the original files, and I'm talking about the video file without any embedded text, just the video file with the video clips or images. In this case, once you get the on-screen text elements transcribed, you can add the translated version with subtitles. So as I said earlier, this way is a bit more complicated because in addition to subtitling and translation skills, you also need to have video editing skills and typesetting skills. And you also need to know how to adapt the text with the style of the video. In this regard, one way around could be hiring a video editor who can take care of this part for you, although sometimes this can lengthen the delivery time. In fact, one additional thing that I didn't mention before is the limit on word length. The translation has to be adapted so it fits the same space as the original, and that should be the default choice. But especially with languages characterized by text expansion, like Italian or German, if you're translating from English, for example, sometimes that is just not possible, as you will need to modify and enlarge some visual elements to make the translation fit in them. If you're relying on an external video editor, this can lead to having to send the file back and forth for adjustments and tweaks. Whereas if you could take care of the visual aspect as well, you would have an instant feedback on what fits and what not, and you would be able to tweak the translation much quicker. So it's a trade-off, and basically depends on whether you're able to do that or not. But sometimes just having an extra couple of hands can be handy. This is one of the possibilities, and it's still easier than the fourth way. If you don't have a clear version of the video and the video editor is not available, and in my experience that's what happens in most of the time, that is, you only have the final video that needs to be translated in the target language, then it's even trickier. That's because in order to translate the video, once you get the on-screen text elements transcribed, you either simply add the translated text in such a way that both source and target language coexist in the video, or, and that's the more elegant method, you try to cover the previous text and replace it with the translated text by also trying to get it to blend in the video. And then there are also those issues with the visual elements that we've seen in the third approach. So basically there are many critical issues with the OCT translations on the graphic side. Identifying the same font used in the original video and using it or using a similar one, then animated text, graphic elements, graphic effects, semi-opaque background for the text, and so on. So in a nutshell, OCT translation can really be a pain in the neck, but it can be done even without any external help. And as a matter of fact, you can find some videos in the portfolio that I have fully translated in Italian. But some videos can be very complex and contain many of the elements I mentioned above. And so sometimes, even if you can do it by yourself, a helping hand can be much useful. So that's all I got. I hope this video was useful for you, and if it was, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content about translation and subtitling. And also, if you're a manager or a business owner and you're looking for a translator specialized in translating videos from English to Italian, who can also take care of on-screen text translation, you can reach out to me by clicking on the link in the description. See you in my next video. Until then, bye!